Henry, Henry, it's time for your news report.
What? Now?
Yes, now.
Out of my way! Journal lizard coming through! Tonight, mud wrestling to the Olympic event. And millipede in training for 100-leg race. But now, our top story. Next Winter Acrobatics Games in Antarctica Shock. Animals from all over the world have been getting into training. The skates are skating, the skunks are skiing, and the bobcats are bobsledding in readiness for the coldest acrobatics meeting in history. Tropical animals are taking no chances. Insects are getting insulated, and the elephants are packing their trunks full of thermal underwear. In this exclusive interview, Larry the Lion told us how the training was going. But the favorites for medals are the penguins, those aquatic acrobats who are expected to beat all comers at the high dive, the swimming, and of course, the 800-meter waddle. Well, let's hope they pick up lots of medals. And next, the weather.
The weather?
The whether I got it right or whether I got it wrong.
A bit of both, Henry.
Really?
The strike among rainforest animals has ended after all-night talk. For 2 weeks, the snakes have refused to bite anyone. The bats have suspended all tent-making activities, and the crocodiles haven't eaten a single tourist. Even the sloths have been staging a slowdown, though no one noticed. The animals were protesting their flooded working conditions following too much rain in the rainforest. More from our reporter on the scene. Well, Henry, conditions here are worsening by the minute. The water levels in the forest continue to rise, cutting off traffic and... You think they bought it?
You couldn't even give it away, Henry.
Rats. Birds cry foul over egg competition. Feathers were flying today at a contest to find the biggest egg in the world. The sporting event turned sour when the ducks got in a flap over claims that the chickens were cheating. The ostriches refused to comment. And the hummingbirds weren't saying a word. While the owls kept an eye out for suspicious behavior. All the competitors flew into a rage when the results were announced. Our reporter was on the scene. They're about to announce the winner of the biggest egg here, Henry, and, the chickens are approaching the winner's stand. Oh, no, the ostriches aren't happy. I can't hit. The humanity. We're experiencing, technical difficulties. More on the egg story as it breaks. Happens. Stay tuned. But first, here now, the sports.
Fantasyland 1, lizards 0.
Rats. Owls are, well, perhaps this poem will sum it up. The owl and the pussycat went to sea in a beautiful pea-green boat. They took some honey and plenty of money wrapped up in a 5-pound note. Now, wait a minute. An owl is big buddies with a cat? No way! The only place a cat likes a bird is in its stomach. How wise could this owl be? He even went boating, when everyone knows that birds get seasick.
Henry.
And a pea-green boat is enough to make anyone lose their lunch. You don't use money to wrap up food. You don't know where it's been. And mixing coins with honey, crazy. But that's owls for you. Believe me, wise old owls aren't wise. The only reason people think they're smart is because they look like they're wearing glasses. Now, does that make them rocket scientists?
Rocket scientists?
I know some very bright animals who've never gone near a pair of glasses. Besides, glasses don't make it clever. It's the reading that does that. And how often do you see an owl with a book? Hardly ever.
Well,
Exactly! The wise old owl. Ha! That's my report, and don't forget it's straight from the lizard's mouth.
you really think anybody's going to believe that?
Yeah, I'm going to explain why a rattlesnake, rattles.
Really?
That's rattle, not cattle. No, the other sort of rattle. The kind you find on snakes. Yeah. Hey, snakes are cold-blooded, so they have to do what they can to heat up.
Uh-huh.
But they can't keep warm by running on the spot. They've got no feet. And they can't wear mittens, because snakes don't have hands. Life gets pretty boring when you have to sit still to save all your energy. Most of the time, they just sleep under rocks. All except for the rattlesnake. He likes to party.
What? Henry?
From dusk till dawn. But nobody else would dance with him because they were all asleep. So the rattlesnake used a baby's rattle tied to its tail and shook hard. The noise woke up all the other snakes so that they could join in the party, where they dance and ate lots of jelly roll. And that's why the rattlesnake rattles. Because it parties. He likes to snake, rattle, and roll. And don't forget, you heard it straight from the lizard's mouth.
Well, Henry, the fact is, no one knows for certain why a rattlesnake has a rattle on the end of
My
its tail.
report is on how the decorator crab got its name.
And just how did it?
Well, there was this crab who lived down under the waves on the seabed. The seabed's not that comfy. Anyway, it can get boring at the bottom of the sea. That's because all you've got to look at is sand. And seaside rock. And shells. Not shelves. Shells. That's better. But one crab had a really brilliant idea. He thought his home would look better with decorations. Not Christmas decorations. Decorations around the house. But he didn't have a house. No, he lived on the seabed, where he covered everything in paint. Oh, all sorts of paint, like oil paints, poster paints, and watercolors. And he painted things all the colors of the rainbow. Though he liked orange best. The other ocean creatures saw his painting and asked him to paint their ocean homes too. So he made lots of money thanks to his decorations. Not cake decorations. He painted walls and ceilings. And he'll paint your house too, as long as you pay him. So, in case there's any confusion, that's how the decorator crab got his name.
Henry, do you really expect us to believe that?
Maybe.
Well, that's nonsense, you silly
I
lizard.
wonder how the electric eel got its name up in lights.
That's your report?
Yes, well, it's because they are electric, as in charged, as in glows in the dark.
Really, Henry?
And that's pretty useful underwater, where it's so dark, a fish can't see its fins in front of its face. Fish were always bumping into each other until someone had the bright idea of electric eels. Result, enlightenment. Ow, sunglasses time. Now fish could see to read their newspapers. Everyone was happy as a clam. When they needed more light for an underwater sporting event, they just asked a group of eels to cuddle together and wham! Eels are better than your average light bulb. They don't break, and there's no electricity bill ever.
Henry?
It was such a stroke of genius. Perhaps we should fix them up around here. Why should fish get all the fun? All you need is an aquarium full of water, toss in a few eels, and wait for the glow to show. At parties, they could put on colored suits and hey, presto, instant disco. Don't delay. Be the first one on your street to make the change to eel power. And don't forget that Henry told you so. So it's straight from the lizard's mouth.
Do you really think anybody's going to believe that?
Yeah.
We're waiting for your report about tropical bird eggs. You are prepared, aren't you?
I'm very prepared. Tropical birds. Well, they've got feathers, wings, beaks, and oh yeah, they lay eggs.
Excellent observations.
Everyone's a comedian. But do you know which tropical bird's egg is the strongest and the toughest in the whole wide world?
Actually, I do, Henry. Do you?
Well, it's not the hummingbird egg, is it?
No, it sure isn't. But that is the world's smallest bird egg. Want to try again with something a little bigger?
Just sing if you're awake. The toughest egg in the world is, of course, the ostrich egg. It's stronger than steel, tougher than titanium, and even harder than a lizard's head. And that's hard. You can't drill it. You can't hammer it. You can't dynamite it. You can't even drop a house on it to break through its tough exterior. It's impenetrable.
If it's so tough, how does the baby ostrich get out?
Oh, well, he has a special tool. Yeah, that's it. He's got a diamond on the end of his cute little beak.
And gold tail feathers, Henry?
Actually, sometimes they do. But diamonds are the only thing harder than an ostrich shell. The baby knocks away inside the shell for about 3 years.
Okay, then how come you never see ostriches with diamonds on their beaks?
That's obvious. After 3 years of knocking away, the diamonds wear out.
Oh, really?
Yes, and that's my report on tropical bird eggs. And that's straight from the lizard's mouth.
Do you really think anybody's gonna believe that?
Yeah.
Waiting for your report on seahorses. You are prepared, aren't you?
Excuse me. I'm totally prepared to tell you where seahorse babies come from.
That's your report?
Sure, a lot of people have the wrong idea about babies.
They do.
Yeah, and especially baby seahorses. Many people think that you find babies in cabbage patches. They're wrong. Others think babies are delivered by storks. Ridiculous. One guy once told me you could order babies from the back of a cereal box if you collected enough box tops. What a nut! So let me tell you where babies really come from.
Uh-oh.
From eggs, of course. Their moms either lay eggs or they hold onto the eggs inside their bodies until it's time for the babies to be born. Then they...
Henry, weren't we talking about baby seahorses?
Well, baby seahorses are the only ones that don't come from inside their mom.
Ah.
Because seahorses are magic.
Oh, no.
When seahorse moms and dads want a baby, they go shopping at the Sea Center Mall. There they buy all the special magical ingredients like green pearls, pink seaweed, and lucky horseshoe, yeah. They take all the stuff home to their little seaweed house and carefully measure the ingredients out into an enormous cookie jar, so long as they remember to take the cookies out first. Because the cookie jar is already full of seawater, they don't have to add salt. And because it's so enormous, they can stir the mixture by swimming around in it. The seahorses put a lid on the jar and leave it on the top shelf. 3 weeks later, they hear a tapping on the side of the cookie jar, take the lid off, and suddenly they have a brand new baby.
Amazing.
Isn't it, though? And just think they give birth without any of that pushing and mess and
Yes, thank you, Henry.
Anyway, that's my report, and you heard it straight from the lizard's mouth.
You really think anybody's gonna believe that?
Yeah!
My report is on how lazy mothers are. Look at the lioness. She has a real easy time of things.
She does?
Sure. The mother lions put all their cubs in a nursery so they can go off and do their own thing. How am I doing so far?
I'm not sure yet. What is their thing?
I'm getting to that. Sheesh. Give a lizard a break, huh? So, the first thing the lionesses do when they drop the kids off at their nursery is get out the coffee and cookies and get on the phone to all their friends and have a good gossip. Then they all meet up and have more coffee and more cookies and order plastic goods from mail order catalogs. Not those kind of plastic goods. Yeah, those are the ones. Way more dough.
Are you really sure, Henry?
Are you kidding? Everyone knows this. Meantime, the fathers do the real work, going to the office, buying the groceries, fixing the plumbing, while the mothers are all out shopping at the mall, playing bingo and getting their hair done. Then, after all that, they roll back home, tell their husbands they've had a real hard day, and curl up in front of the TV with more coffee and cookies, while their husbands bathe the kids, put them to bed, and wash all the dirty coffee cups and cookie plates. And then, when all the chores are done, and they've had their dinner, the lionesses tell their husbands they've got a headache and go to sleep. That's how easy being a mom is. And that's straight from the lizard's mouth. So, did I get an A?
A Z would be more like it, Henry.
Didn't I even get one bit right?
Not even one, Henry.
Rats.